Hey, what is going on, you guys? All right, so my tutorials that I'm making, they're just taking an ungodly amount of time to make. I've re-recorded, I've recorded it a bunch of times, spent hours on it, and it's still not quite right. I want it to be perfect for you guys, so that's gonna be a little bit longer before I release that. But anyways, in the interim, I wanted to share a little bit more about my days, what I do, especially I know a lot of you all are trying to be webflow designers and developers, and just maybe general website designer and developer. And so for those of you looking to get into this as your career, I wanted to start documenting what my typical day looks like. Now, I'm a little bit more unique probably than your typical freelancer or anything like that, just because I do run my own agency, Suits and Sandals, and I also do a ton of R&D work that's really code heavy, but I'm super happy to help and just share basically anything that I'm working on that I can share. So this will be kind of like a devlog, if that's a term. I think that's a term. It's like a vlog, but for it's a term. Anyways, I hope you enjoy and find some value in this, and hopefully I get around to finishing these tutorials. Maybe I'll work on some of that and show you that process as well, because it is a vlog anyways. And yeah, so this is my day. Right now it is 9 o'clock. I got kind of started around 8 and just like organizing things, cleaning stuff around the apartment, but also trying to get myself situated because I work from home. And now I am going to be doing some maintenance work for an existing client of ours. So yeah, come along for that. So this client is a co-op here in New York City. Today I was tasked with adding a new section to their amenities page. I'm actually using Reloom for this. I really want to start using Reloom a bunch more. The problem is this website was built like years and years ago, so the code base is pretty old. Gonna be interesting to see how Reloom scaffolds onto this code base. I'm using Reloom's slider here, which is the default webflow component slider. So I'm used to using splide.js or swiper.js, but I figure, in the spirit of trying to do Reloom, I'd stick with Reloom. And it definitely saves a lot of time. So instead of building it from scratch and all that, even though, I'm kind of fast with it now since I use it pretty much all the time. Yeah, it was good to learn about Reloom. The issue that I find with it is I just hate the names of the classes. So I don't know what the process should be. Like you import something and then you rename it right away. Who knows? Part of this task too that was like really kind of time consuming was curating the photos. And these photos were just taken by the people at the event. It wasn't like a professional photographer or anything. So I had to do just like the tiniest bit of retouching. I'm like removing some reflections on the mirror. And you can see here, I like keep going back to Reloom just to see and familiarize myself with other galleries and other patterns that I can use for this. The other page that I was working on is this 40th anniversary page. Which is a completely new page, but I wanted to make sure I'm still reusing the same components that's found throughout the site. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel or anything, except for the Reloom bit, of course. So I'm adding that in. I think at some point I'm gonna have to refactor this whole website, meaning like I have to redo a lot of the classes, the structures, and all that. Because yeah, we just built this such a long time ago and things have changed so much. There's some classes here where there's just like, or there's some divs in here that have like, I don't know, 5 classes stacked on top of each other. All right, so that was a little painful. I had to deal with some images that were just taken by the client with their phones. So it was a little bit trickier to make it work in the design. And now I'm gonna switch gears and try to re-energize myself to be creative and finish out my presentation for today. And the real reason why I'm kind of like working on this last minute is because I'm also working on a big Three.js like super immersive project that I kind of just lost track of time yesterday and just kept working when I should have paused and moved over to other things. That's kind of how it goes. Anyways, I think I should have enough time and we'll just see where this goes. All right, so this one is with one of our longtime partners, PBJ Marketing. We're doing some brand expansion with them. Super awesome people. If you need pay-per-click, SEO, general marketing, really, they are the pros. The interesting thing about this project is we want to make sure we get something out the door really fast. I mean, who doesn't? But we want to also, at the same time, try to expand the brand, because right now the brand is like, you know, it's pretty defined, but it doesn't have too many visual devices or techniques that we can rely on to create new pages and to really elevate things, right? So we're taking this opportunity to make some improvements to the website and also some improvements to the overall brand, like the foundational brand. So you can see here I was kind of experimenting with long form content. They have a lot of long form content, so that was like kind of a challenge. And here I'm exploring, you know, just basic retention techniques. Like, and what do I mean by that? That's basically like if you have a lot of content and you want people to stay on the page, there are some techniques that you can do to keep someone engaged and interested. You can see back there, I was playing around with containing things. I've got some interaction ideas with these cards stacking on top of each other. It's by no means not a totally cutting edge idea. It is, you know, a little bit of a nice surprise and delight moment in terms of interaction. So, you know, that's good. Here, I was kind of starting to try out like way crazier ideas for the UI and the UX and could like just absolutely abandon it, because another goal here is to be able to develop these changes within a day. So we have that constraint. And then I started placing the work on our brand new presentation Figma workflow here. So now I'm trying to present exclusively in Figma using prototyping. I think it's just such a better experience than, you know, PDFs, right? So, I mean, we do export out a PDF for our clients, but in the presentation, it's great. Check. Oh. All right, so that took a long time. It's now 2:24. The next thing I'm gonna work on is finally the internal project we've been working on. I need to do some modeling, and I'm terrible at Blender. I literally just learned it the other week, but I'm pretty excited about it. It's gonna be a really cool project. So I'm gonna work on that until the presentation. And yeah, that's what my afternoon's looking like. Yeah, Blender is tough, man. I just started learning this literally a week ago. The keyboard shortcuts, the way you move around, you know, it's just a lot, and a lot of muscle memory that you kind of need to have to get good and to be fast with it. And then, not to mention, it's just such an endless world, this 3D. I love it. It's actually, I'm surprised it's taken me this long to get behind the 3D bandwagon. My art director, Max, he's in one of the videos where we talk about one of our projects. He's a, you know, long-time 3D guy, and he's always been, you know, the 3D person. But now that I'm kind of getting into Three.js a lot, and you know, I thought, you know, I need to learn how to use Blender. So yeah, so I started learning it. It's been great. it takes a ton of time. It is a lot of time. And what I'm realizing is you really need to make sure you have references. You can't just sketch and freestyle in 3D unless you have like literally 4 hours to burn. Because when you have deadlines, when you have, you know, a life, you have to really make sure that you have a direction, that you have a plan before you go into 3D. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm new to it. I kind of do the same though with web design, you know, like I need to have a comp and I can't just jump right into webflow and start making a new experience or a new website. Gotta really plan things out. I feel like it's so obvious and it goes without saying, but I don't know, you get so excited in 3D and just like your imagination runs wild, and before you know it, you burn so much time. It's a lot of playing, and I've missed that in creative. It's super fun. All right, just finished my presentation. I think it went really well and got a lot of work ahead. Pretty excited about it. It is now 4:40. I am so burnt out, but gotta keep pushing. I will be working on our Three.js project next, trying to figure out how to position these models and create a decent scene. So this should be interesting. So I got about an hour of this before I have to hop out, pick up my daughter Indy, and then probably some family time before I hop back on the computer to do a little bit more work as far as this Three.js project. And then hopefully having some time to finish my damn mega menu tutorial. I think I'll be able to do that tonight to see how much work I have left. And then, yeah, just keep pushing. It's a Wednesday. Week's almost over, I guess. Yeah, it's been a pretty productive day so far. Definitely moving slower than usual. All right, on to Blender. So this last stint here, it was pretty late at this point. I wasn't able to get back on until I think like 9 o'clock. I really wanted to make sure that I have directions, I have references, and I did have references. So I was kind of looking at a couple of more intense models, but you know, I wanted to keep it simple, even though I got carried away in some of these details you'll see here. And I'm trying to really think about the fact that the user will be too far to really see anything. Like I modeled some doors, I had them like scaled appropriately, but then, you know, I was like, all right, this is just too many vertices and it's just gonna make everything much heavier. So I should probably not do that, right? We need to go low poly on things because we're not zoomed in. Here I started trying to model like a little sci-fi building. This is another thing. I started freestyling that and then quickly abandoned it. And then I got back into looking at references and made this little landing pad platform thing. I think I'm gonna make a bunch more of these, you know, and try to just use it as detail potentially. But I did learn some things about paneling actually. There's this whole like sci-fi paneling that I never knew about. You know, those like little details that you see on sides of spaceships and things, and the bevels and stuff. That kind of, you know, that stuff is what, you know, this project is missing so far. So here I'm kind of trying out different patterns that turned into a maze because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. And then finally watch some tutorials. Well, here I didn't watch a tutorial, so I didn't even know about a keyboard shortcut called A, or like when you're doing a cut to constrain yourself to angles. That definitely helps with this process. There are some tools that you can use that will like randomly generate these things, but I think it's pretty important for me to like understand what makes a good paneling, like a good panel design, right? And I realized like you have to not just randomly create angles, there has to be some kind of flow to it. So in my second attempt, I think I'll be able to design something decent. Probably not. Here, I was definitely wasting time. I started trying to position the camera. I think I was just after like that feeling of like, ooh, nice render. All right, it is now 12:55 on Thursday. Finally got to somewhat of a decent result. Definitely nowhere near done. Sci-fi paneling, turns out, is the move. It's very late. I need to go to bed and figure this out tomorrow. I think tomorrow it will be simplifying the geometries and then maybe loading it up in 3JS finally. And I gotta edit this vlog, dev vlog. Yeah, that's the day. It was long. Back at it again early tomorrow, non-stop. Alright, hope you found some value in that. I am gonna go to bed. I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for watching. See ya.